So after Angel and Archangel, we have to see the big bad. So the first mutant is gonna be the next project. I think he's gonna go pretty quick. He pretty much has 3 colors on him, gray, blue and silver. So it should go pretty quick. It's just his size and being careful around a lot of detail, but it will be fun. I can't wait to put him on the table. So the first color that we're gonna start will be standard gray. That's pretty much gonna go over all his legs, right there. Over his hands, including the insides, his arms and side of his costume, like there, and his face, and top of the head, and just gonna go quick. First color, don't have to be that perfect. And once you apply this everywhere, we're gonna go to the next thing. Half of the miniature is almost painted. Now we're gonna go to blue to go through all the cloth material and armor, and then we're gonna start doing silvers. We're gonna do second major color, which is pretty much almost other half of the apocalypse. So blue, Altoic blue, it's a light blue. It's gonna go over all this cloth tabards and so on. So you're gonna go over cloth tabard, you're gonna go over the chest armor right there, and we'll go from that point on. So I would say half of the miniature is done. Between those 2 colors you can see major parts are completed. There's gonna be now a lot of silver details here and there, plus those connections in the belt, but most of the apocalypse is pretty much done, and it's a cool miniature. So the third color of apocalypse and really the last is silver. So we're literally just gonna apply it to the belt right there. Then you're gonna apply it to those connections at the back. And few little pieces like the boots right here, and few things that stand out. And once you have all that, section of the gloves right there, section here, section right at the chest piece. There's going to be few places like that where you want to apply this silver. And once you have that done, then you're going to apply the shades, and the miniature is going to be almost done. So the silver on Apocalypse is done. You can see all those details now really showing up, and the miniature is done. Now it's just applying shades and doing the highlights, but you could easily put him on the table as he stands, and he looks pretty cool. We're gonna start shading our model, and we're gonna start with blue shade, which you're only gonna use really 2 shades, this and null oil, and we're gonna apply it all over the blue areas. So go over slowly to not go over the silver. If you need to correct it later. Don't let it pull too much, and that's pretty much it. I'll show you once entire thing is applied. Something like this. You can see the shades applied to the miniature. You can see that I didn't apply it everywhere, because like over the shoulder pads it's lighter, and I know I'm gonna be doing the highlights back again, so I didn't go over. If you want to shade entire thing, so you're gonna get uniform color. Otherwise, you can avoid few places which you don't want to highlight, or already you don't need to highlight. But that's the highlight of Drakenhof, and now we're gonna go to null oil. So we're gonna apply null oil to the remainder of the miniature. So all the silver and gray pieces. So for example, on this leg, everywhere we're gonna go over the miniature, and that's gonna give nice transition between the colors. So once you have all that done, I'll show you the final result. So you can see the null oil applied over the entire miniature, so entire back. Now the metal really stands out. After this we're gonna just highlight the grays and blues, and that's gonna make him really stand out. But I really love this miniature. So now we're gonna go over back all the blues. So all the raised parts we're gonna go back with Alloytech blue and raise it up and color it back again to make sure all the recessed parts are ending up with darker and lighter tones on the raised parts. So something like this on the miniatures. Like you can see here and there, and we're gonna apply on all those raised parts through the entire miniature. You see the blue is done, it looks spectacular, and I did the entire miniature, and now we're gonna go over the grays, and that's gonna be the major, that will be complete miniature. We're gonna just do a few highlights afterwards to get a few edges, and that will be it. Now we're gonna move back to grays, so we're gonna go over all the raised parts of the muscle. So all of this is gonna go back to being lighter, and once we have all this done, be careful not to go over the lines, and that will be something like this on the leg. Then we're gonna do it over entire gray area, including the face, arms, hands, everything. Gray is done, so you can see how grays are now coming out, and there is shades to differentiate between the muscles on the front, on the back of the miniature, and now we're gonna do a few highlights, and we're done. We're gonna start blue highlights, so we're gonna go over the edges. We're gonna start with the tabard. So you're gonna go and you're gonna highlight with this, all these raised parts right there. Like this. Like this. That's gonna create the effects of standing out a little bit more and create more texture. Once you have all the edges, that will be done. You can see some of the edges that I did. That's the blue highlights, so on the tabard right there, on the edges right there, on the edges right there, boots itself, and that's the highlight of the blue. We're gonna now paint the gray highlights, so we're gonna start with muscles. Right there, to highlight the muscle tone of the miniature. You can see them right there on the leg. And we're gonna highlight all those part of his clothing. So all of that should be lighter tone. And I'll show you the final in a few seconds. So you can see the highlights, for example, like on the muscles right there, on the muscles right there, on the face itself, all this. And now I will call Apocalypse done. And I did this in the front, in the back, the tabard, the back muscles, boots, gray parts, everything is highlighted. You can see all the muscles standing out on the arms, a little bit on the fingers, and all the ribs and muscles on the ribs, all that is highlighted. And now I'm gonna I might do later different base. For now I'm gonna just go mechanical standard gray and go over Argus Airshade like everything else, because I don't know if I'm gonna be getting the throne or whichever rejuvenation chamber, whichever one that is for the one that he fits in. So for now I'll just do regular Argus Earthshade. As you can see, Apocalypse is done, and I love how he came out. It looks pretty much how I imagined. It's Apocalypse, first mutant, so nothing much more we can say. The miniature is gorgeous. There is so much detail on it, and I'll see you in the next miniature.